One day in July 11998, Sister Zhen was talking to Xiang Zaiden, Emily, Ji Yutong, Lin Lin, and Zheng Xiaojie on the tarmac of the underground city. Sister Zhen's voice was loud and seemed to be full of anger. "Have you decided yet?" she shouted to several beauties. "If you don't go, I will." As she said that, she got on the spacecraft and wanted to launch the landing craft inside. Xiang Zaiden quickly grabbed her hand and stopped her. "Let go." Sister Zhen glared at Xiang Zaiden and raised her eyebrows. "You are all like turtles, afraid of trouble, aren't you? Let me tell you, you are afraid, but I am not. I'm going alone, so get out of my way." Sister Zhen, listen to me." Xiang Zaiden held Sister Zhen's hand tightly and prevented her from starting the landing craft. "We are not afraid, but we think we have to think carefully about this matter. It's been 2 years since you've thought about it, and you haven't thought about it yet?" Sister Zhen mocked. "Do you know that your brother Shu will never die in peace?" "No, I'll go settle the score with those damn Jones people." Xiang Zaiden held Sister Zhen's hand tightly, but was speechless for a moment. Indeed, it has been 2 full years since Shu Yunping traveled through the wormhole. In the past 2 years, whether they are Jones people or people on Earth, they have looked up at the stars eagerly, and what they have seen is that the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy is still rushing towards the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way. The Earth is still shrouded in high temperatures of 5 to 60 degrees Celsius, without any change. Looking at Sister Zhen in front of her, she has already had gray hair on her temples in just 2 years. Her once tight skin began to sag, and the fish scales on her face appeared and disappeared, which made people feel distressed. "Sister Zhen, we are discussing this matter, and what is the better way to take it?" "Fuck your discussion." Sister Zhen interrupted Xiang Zaiden. "In the past 2 years, we have discussed and discussed, but the result is always that they give random explanations and you don't say anything. Have there been any results?" 2 years ago, when Zhang Jingyi, Sister Zhen, Emily, and others returned to the underground city with tears in their eyes, Sister Zhen wanted to organize the troops and lead people to seek justice. After thinking about it, Su Yunji and others did not take the direct contact method, but made a video call with Samantha. Samantha's explanation is, just because Lulu Jones didn't come back doesn't mean Shu Yunpeng didn't travel through the past. As for the characteristics of time and space, I can't tell when it will get better, but it will take some time to find out. Wait for a while. How long? Let's wait 2 years first, Samantha replied. After Colonel Shu traveled through time, the catastrophe didn't start until more than 4 years ago, so in order to change, 2 years should be at least 2 years. This reason is tenable. Among the people on Earth, other people feel that they have nothing to say, but Sister Zhen is very dissatisfied. She thought the Joneses were prevaricating and talking nonsense. "Okay, I'll trust you for now," Sister Zhen said. "If there's still no movement after 2 years, I'll settle the score with you. Our brothers can't sacrifice their lives in vain." "Sister Zhen, what you said is wrong. We also lost our technical director and 2 sisters. The sacrifice is no less than yours." Now, 2 years have passed, and Sister Zhen naturally refuses to give up and demands an explanation from Jones. But the Jones people believe that 2 years is only the minimum period, and they should wait longer. If that was all, the Jones people actually asked the Earth to let the Jones people go into the underground city. The reason is that it is getting hotter and hotter outside, and the people on Earth should consider letting them into the city out of concern for their friends. When this happened, Sister Zhen was the first to explode. "You don't keep your words, and you still want to go into the dungeon and dream." Of course, Su Yunji and others did not want to let the Jones people enter the city, but they felt that they could not force it. There are currently only a few people on Earth, and their technological capabilities are far behind the other side. In the event of a conflict, Earth will definitely suffer. Therefore, most people choose to procrastinate and find various reasons to decline. But as the number of rejections increased, the reasons for the rejection became increasingly untenable. The Jones people were obviously angry, and their words became a little aggressive. Technology is inferior to humans, the population advantage has long been gone, and the Earth is indeed very passive. Sister Jin couldn't help it anymore. I don't believe it. We are playing at home. Can they deal with us? You can't act recklessly, Sister Jin. Don't talk about war lightly. Su Yunji firmly disagreed. Imagine that when the colonel was here, he endured such humiliation and endured the heavy burden just to preserve the last bloodline of the people on Earth. How could we start a war casually? Sister Jin had to admit that Su Yunji's words were right. There are less than 5,000 people left on Earth. If you talk about war when you are in a weak position, you are seeking your own death. When will this coward be punished? She lamented, ostensibly no longer insisting. But in fact, she started taking action of her own. She quietly chatted privately with some people, encouraging them. In the end, Emily and Ji Yutong, Lin Lin, and Zheng Xiaojie from the original couple's fortress were moved by her. They're afraid of trouble, but it is better to take the initiative than to be beaten passively. If we catch them by surprise once, I will not believe that Joan's people are made of iron and copper. Sister Jin made up her mind and quietly took these women who were not afraid of death to drive out on a landing craft. Go near the Joneses' camp and look for an opportunity to kill him once to build your reputation. But unexpectedly, Xiang Zaiden found out about their plan. Xiang Zaiden saw Emily and others hanging out together, so he asked Emily. Emily was caught off guard. Although she didn't say anything, Xiang Zaiden saw through her psychological activity at once. Of course, Xiang Zaiden objects to Sister Jin and the others doing this. She knew that Su Yunji and his scientific and technical personnel worked day and night to digest the technology obtained from the Jones people in order to shorten the gap with the Jones people. Xu Yunpeng finally risked his life to leave Jones Lulu in the wormhole. They both endured the anger in their hearts and fought for the gain of each other without breaking through. If you keep doing it hard like Sister Jin, you can imagine the result. But out of love, she didn't want to make the matter public. Sister Jin, Emily, and others are the people closest to her Xiang Zaiden in terms of personal relationships. She couldn't bear the thought that making this public would put them in a position of being condemned. So she wanted to dissuade them privately. But her repeated obstruction made Sister Jin angry. Seeing that she couldn't get rid of Xiang Zaiden, Sister Jin pretended to give up and let go. Okay, I don't care anymore. Let you go, she said as she stood up and left the driver's seat. Xiang Zaiden breathed a sigh of relief, but she didn't expect that Sister Jin suddenly hit her hard on the back of the neck and knocked her unconscious. Sister Jin? Emily was startled. You can't hurt Sister Zaiden. She's fine. Sister Jin smiled coldly and said, carry her down. Emily, Ji Yutong, and others carried the unconscious Xiang Zaiden outside the spacecraft and let her lie on a cabinet next to her. Then, several of them boarded the landing craft, flew out of a spaceship, and arrived at the entrance of the underground city. The guards asked them why they were going, and they said they were going to the Eternal Land to see the graves of the sisters. The guards saw that the housekeeper, Sister Jin, was also there and let him go. The landing craft left the underground city and immediately flew towards the original couple's fortress. Sister Jin, what are we going to do this time? Lin Lin was gearing up, looking eager to try. Although she had fought several battles with Sister Jin and Yiru in the Lover's Fortress, in the end, because she was too young, she rarely had the opportunity to go to the front line in person. Don't worry, just listen to my orders when the time comes. There are not many veterans under his command, so he can only use a little girl like this. It can be seen that the shortage is not an empty talk. This is not a joke. Don't mess around. Okay, Sister Jin. Xiang Zaiden woke up leisurely and found that he was already lying on the hospital bed, surrounded by Su Yunji, Zhang Jingyi, Tang Liqing, and others. She shook her still dizzy head. Why am I here? Where is Sister Jin? She ran away long ago. Su Yunji said, when the patrolling soldiers found you, you were lying on a cabinet next to the tarmac. Oh, why did she knock you unconscious? Zhang Jingyi asked. Why did she go? Xiang Zaiden told Su Yunji and others what happened, and their expressions suddenly changed. This is bad, Zhang Jingyi said. Sister Zhen took the initiative to find trouble with the Jones people. Are you causing trouble for the Jones people? Tang Liqing smiled bitterly. It seems that we are in trouble. Su Yunji grimaced and said nothing. It goes without saying that this Sister Zhen is brave, but she just lacks a brain and tends to be impulsive when things happen. When Xu Yunpeng was around, she was quite obedient, but she also caused a lot of troubles and gave him a headache. Once Xu Yunpeng left, no one could restrain her anymore. Should we inform the Jones people and ask them to take precautions and notify us if they see Sister Zhen? Ouyang Xiaoya said. I'm afraid this is inappropriate, Zhang Jingyi said. What if Sister Zhen and the others don't do anything? Wouldn't we be asking for it? Although the Jones people have not fallen out with us, we can't do this. But if Sister Zhen really makes a move and hurts Jones, wouldn't that be trouble? If it hurts, just hurt it. Zhang Jingyi thought for a while and gritted her teeth. Ever since her brother left, she felt a fire in her heart. Xu Yunpeng's last little gift clearly told them not to be wishful thinking and not to be soft when it was time to take action. It has been 2 years, and we have suffered enough from their cowardice. Then just prepare for war, Tang Liqing said. Anyway, it seems that it will be a matter of time before we fall out with them. It would be better if we did it sooner, so as not to worry about it every day. Okay. Su Yunji, who had been silent all this time, gritted his teeth and said, Then get ready. Check the defense system of the underground city and closely monitor the movements of the Jones people. At the same time, our people are not allowed to go out until the situation is clear. Okay, Zhang Jingyi said, I will also withdraw the people on the 2 Jones motherships. Now that we are going to fall out with them, we don't dare to use their things. Now that the governor has made up his mind, everyone immediately splits up to prepare. Even Xiang Zaiden, who is still not feeling too comfortable, jumped out of bed and hurriedly arranged for defense despite his still groggy head. Chapter 2 Ambush. The landing craft flew 10 kilometers away from the Jones station, and Sister Zhen ordered it to land. The landing craft can only go so far. We have to walk the rest of the way. They parked the landing craft in a depression so that it could not be seen in the distance. They packed up their weapons and ammunition and hit the road. Less than halfway through, Lin Lin and Zheng Xiaojie began to complain. The 2 girls, who had never experienced the storm, had not endured much hardship even though they had grown up in a gathering place. After arriving in Central City, I was arranged to look after the children at the Academy of Sciences, which has always been quite comfortable. But today, walking in the dark with 1 foot high and 1 foot low, and the weather was so hot, it was really hard. Shut up, Sister Zhen shouted in a low voice. You will be dead if your target is exposed. After arduous trekking for most of the night, they finally reached their destination before dawn and lurked near the original broken bridge. Okay, you can take a rest now. After Sister Zhen said to Lin Lin and Zheng Xiaojie, she asked Emily to go down below to get water. It was strange that the Qinzheng River used to be so hot. Even though there was no rain for a long time, it still did not completely stop flowing. In the low-lying areas, there is always a trickle of water. Yutong, please watch carefully. Let's rest for a while. Sister Zhen asked Ji Yutong to stand guard while she, Lin Lin, and Zheng Xiaojie lay down to rest. Soon, Emily came back with water. Everyone drank a little, and Emily also lay down to rest. Although it was very hot, they were tired after a long journey and a sleepless night. So soon, except for Ji Yutong, the other 4 people were confused. I don't know how long it took, but the sky began to light up. On the eastern horizon, a streak of red clouds shines brightly, looking very spectacular. The fiery red sun appears and disappears from the red clouds, and a new day begins again. Sister Zhen, who was in a daze, woke up immediately when she heard Ji Yutong's soft call. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Is there something going on?" "Yes," Ji Yutong whispered. "I saw 3 Jones people coming." Sister Zhen quickly turned over and lay on her stomach and pushed up Zheng Xiaojie, who was lying next to her. "Get up, there's a situation." They lay prone, observing the movements of the 3 Joneses. Lin Lin turned on the safety of the laser gun, but Sister Zhen held it down. "Don't move." "Why don't you kill them?" "There are too many of them," Sister Zhen said. Although the laser gun fire made almost no sound, the intense flames could be seen from a long distance under the still dark sky. Besides, she didn't want to kill them. She just wanted to catch them alive, repair them, and let out the bad energy in her heart. The 3 Jones men walked down the river embankment into the river, walked to the place where Emily had just taken water, and began to take off their clothes. After several years of interstellar travel, the Jones people already know how to prepare for a rainy day. The Jones mothership is an all-powerful self-consistent ecosystem, but they will still try to make use of other resources when they can. There is water here, so they won't let it go. Sister Zhen had discovered this a long time ago, so she chose this place as the ambush location. "It's terrible. Are we just going to watch them playing with their bear, butts in the water?" Emily laughed softly, peeping. "Isn't that great?" Sister Zhen also smiled. "See how their bodies are different from ours. Isn't this also a good opportunity to get to know them?" They look almost the same, but they seem to have no body hair. Lin Lin looked at them with a telescope and said, "They are as naked as little girls." "No way," Emily said doubtfully, reaching out and grabbing the telescope. "Let me take a look." "Look how boring you are," Sister Zhen scolded with a smile. "You actually paid attention to this. Maybe this person shaved it off himself." "It doesn't seem like." Emily looked at it for a while and said, "Not even 3. "Okay, if you don't have them, there won't be any," Sister Zhen said. "Everyone is well hidden. Let's let these 3 go." The 3 Joneses played in the water for a while, dried themselves off, and put on their clothes. Each of them carried a flat container as big as a suitcase, filled with water, and walked away together. Gradually, the sun rose. The temperature got higher and higher, and all 5 people were sweating profusely. They wanted to run down to the place where the 3 Joneses had played in the water and wash themselves with the water, but they didn't dare. Since you want to ambush, you can't just run out. If the Jones people find out, is it still called an ambush? The difficult time passed little by little, and finally, it was late in the afternoon. It was almost evening, and Lin Lin finally couldn't bear it any longer. She stood up and ran towards the water, but Sister Zhen didn't hold her back, and she ran over quickly. Seeing Lin Lin running out, Zheng Xiaojie couldn't help but follow her. "Forget it, Sister Zhen," Emily advised Sister Zhen when she saw this. "It will get dark soon, and it is estimated that the Jones people will not come again, so let them go." Sister Zhen looked at the sky and saw that it was indeed almost dusk. The Jones camp is more than 3 kilometers away from here, and they probably won't come out to the river at this time. "Okay, let's go wash up too." The 3 of them also stood up and walked to the water together. When they got there, Lin Lin and Zheng Xiaojie had already stripped naked and were splashing water on each other and playing around. "Wash well and don't play loudly," Sister Zhen warned sternly. "Although I no longer worry about the Jones people coming, such loud play always makes people uneasy. Go back after washing." "It's too hot. Let's play a little longer," Lin Lin muttered. "Forget it, Sister Zhen," Ji Yutong said. "We also have to wash. Let's go together after we finish washing." Sister Zhen thought about it and realized that it was right, so she stopped urging the 2 girls to take off her clothes. The 3 of them also took off their clothes and sat by the puddle, constantly picking up water with their hands and splashing it on themselves. The water is warm, not cool, but it still feels good when splashed on your body. The 5 people were sitting by the puddle washing. They didn't seem to want to stand up, let alone put on their sweat-soaked clothes. They looked at me and I looked at you. Even Sister Jeanne hesitated, wondering whether to put on her clothes and leave. Look at the sky. It's completely dark. Should it be fine? As a result of the hesitation, Emily occasionally looked towards the river embankment and was startled. She saw two people standing on the embankment, looking at them. "It's fatal," she shouted softly, reaching out to grab her clothes and put them on randomly. "Don't be nervous." Sister Jeanne saw the two Joneses almost at the same time, but she forced herself to calm down. "We haven't turned against them. They won't know what we want to do. Put on clothes slowly and greet them with a smile. Remember, don't think about anything in your mind. If you can't control it, just think that the weather is too hot and it's so comfortable to wash in the water." She told her companions while already getting dressed. She stood up, stretched, and then raised her hand to greet the Jones people on the embankment. "Hello, are you here to get water?" "Come on, we've run out. It's your turn," Emily also shouted. The two Joneses looked at each other and began to walk slowly down the embankment towards them. Sister Jeanne made a gesture, and the 5 Earthlings slowly backed away and left the puddle. Sister Jeanne looked towards the puddle with a smile and made a gesture to the Joneses, saying please. The two Jones men saw them smiling and seemed to have no ill intentions, so they walked to the puddle. They first filled the containers they brought and then began to take off their clothes. Suddenly, one of the Jones people looked up at Lin Lin with a wary look in his eyes. "Damn it!" Sister Jeanne cursed secretly. She knew that Lin Lin must have thought about something that she shouldn't have thought and was discovered by this Jones man. She immediately shouted, "Get them!" At the same time, she rushed towards one of the Joneses and knocked her down. When the other Jones saw this, she immediately jumped up and tried to run towards the river embankment, but she tripped over with half of her pants off. Emily moved very quickly and immediately jumped on her and held her down. "Search yourself," Sister Jeanne shouted. As a result of the body search, the two Jones men did not carry weapons, not even communicators. But Sister Jeanne is careful. She knows that the Jones people are highly skilled and their communicators may be on their clothes, so people on Earth cannot find them. So she asked Emily and others to take off the clothes of the two Jones men. "They really don't have body hair." Zheng Xiaojie looked between the Joneses' legs and said in surprise, "Stop being bored. Leave quickly." Sister Jeanne said, "Lin Lin, take their clothes with you." They hurriedly cuffed the Joneses' arms behind their backs and led them staggering out of the river and toward their landing craft. As they walked up the river, one of the Jones men spoke. "You violated the armistice." "You violated it a long time ago." Sister Jeanne replied, "The armistice agreement does not include that you can come to Earth. If you come, it can be regarded as an act of aggression." "This is what I agreed with you, Colonel Shu, later." "Colonel Shu was thrown into the wormhole by you," Sister Jeanne said. "Even if he agrees, it doesn't count." "Where are you taking us?" "Underground City." Ji Yutong said, "Aren't you clamoring to enter the underground city? Let you two go in first." Jones fell silent. They took the two captives with them and hurried on in the dark night. Of course, the two Jones people were not willing to be taken away like this, so they tried every means to delay it along the way, which made Sister Jeanne almost get angry. "You want to die, don't you?" Sister Jeanne said angrily and slapped one of the Jones people hard. "If you are not honest, I will kill you." "I think we should just kill them." Lin Lin hugged the clothes of the two Jones people and was very tired from stumbling. At this time, when Sister Jeanne said this, she threw the clothes on the ground and pulled out the laser gun, but she was immediately stopped by Sister Jeanne. But at this moment, the Jones people saw that the people on Earth did not dare to kill themselves. "Pick up the clothes," Sister Jeanne said sternly to Lin Lin. "Let's go." Lin Lin didn't dare to say anything and lowered her head to pick up her clothes. At this moment, the Jones man who had been slapped by Sister Jeanne suddenly squatted down, and the hand that had been cut behind her back came to the front. This Jones seemed to be very capable of fighting. As soon as her hands reached the front, They struck Lin Lin on the head with the handcuffs on her hands like lightning, knocking her down as she was bending down to pick up clothes. Immediately afterwards, she quickly ran in the direction she came from and ran out 40 or 50 meters in an instant. Get her quickly. Before Sister Jeanne could finish her shout, Lin Lin was lying on the ground after being knocked down. The laser gun in her hand was already spitting out dazzling flames. The Jones man who was running suddenly trembled all over and slowly fell down. Chapter 3, Sister Jeanne Misses. Emily quickly ran up and dragged the Jones man back, who fell to the ground. Sister Jeanne put her hand on the man's mouth and nose, and her arms drooped. Dead. Lin Lin was getting up from the ground, and there was a bag on her head. She said bitterly, "If you dare to attack me, you should." Before she could say the word death, she received a heavy slap on the face. "You bastard, who asked you to beat her to death?" Sister Jeanne was furious. She knew that fighting against the Jones people without defeat was the policy decided by their core group of Earthlings. She came out this time mainly because she couldn't hold her breath. She wanted to catch some Jones people to repair it and let them know how powerful it was. She had no intention of actually starting a direct war with the Jones people. But now, if you kill a Jones, you're dead and you're in big trouble. Another Jones man knelt beside his dead companion and began to sob. Several Earthlings were helpless. The person is dead. Ji Yutong is older. Unlike a young person like Lin Lin, she also knows that this matter is difficult to handle. What should we do now? I think the other one will be killed and buried together without anyone noticing, Zheng Xiaojie said softly. Sister Jeanne glared at her, and she was too frightened to say anything. I think this is a solution, Ji Yutong said. If we don't admit it, who knows? The Jones man stopped crying when he heard that he was going to kill her. She sat on the ground, stared at several people on Earth, and said, "Kill. You won't be able to escape even if you kill me. Our people will take revenge on us." I don't want to kill you, Sister Jeanne said. You also saw it. This was an accident. Your companion attacked the little girl and tried to escape before being beaten to death. You kidnap us. Can't we resist? If you don't want to die, just shut up. Sister Jeanne was already in a state of confusion and didn't know what to do. This Jones man wanted to talk back to her, and she couldn't help but get angry. Come and kill me. Jones didn't show any weakness at all, which really made Sister Jeanne angry. She pulled out her gun, but on second thought, she didn't fire. Instead, she turned the gun and hit the Jones man on the head, knocking her unconscious. Bury the dead one. She had decided to take the living Jones man back and lock him in the underground city. The dungeon is so big, it's easy to hide someone. The Jones people only need to insist that they don't know. No! Burn the dead ones without leaving any traces. It was dry and it was easy to find something to burn. After a while, they found a lot of flammable materials. They placed the dead Jones on combustibles and set them on fire. In an instant, the fire was raging, and they kept using laser guns to fuel the fire. After a while, their familiar aroma wafted out of the fire. Their hunger began to rise. It's